We are here at the Racing Electronics Display PRI show, Indianapolis, Indiana. Steve Post from Motor Racing Network. So much great racing out there, and the SRX Series has kind of taken the country by storm here the last couple of years. Don Hawk with the SRX Series joins me here. Don, you're a veteran of motorsports. You've been around for so many years and so many different projects. Getting the opportunity to work on this project, the SRX project, what has this been like for you as you work through this?
Oh, it's been a blast, Steve. A lot of people thought I was going to retire, and I decided I needed to check off another thing on my bucket list. So literally December 23rd, I get this message, would you consider signing an NDA with us? And December 24th, Christmas Eve, I had a Zoom call with them, and I went to work for them on January 3rd. So needless to say, it was an exciting opportunity, and racing's in my blood. Here's the most important part. It's short track racing in America. It's where I started, and it's where I want to just leave a footprint when I go, decide I'm going to retire someday, which isn't going to happen.
No doubt about it. I'll give you a little Don story. I'll give you the Reader's Digest version of Don's story. Very involved with Dale Earnhardt. He was the business manager for Dale Earnhardt, and then moved from there and ultimately Speedway Motorsports. So a long and storied career. But boy, the short track, the passion, the excitement for short tracks, that's appealing to get back to. And we're living in a really neat time with short track excitement.
Yeah, it really is. And if you look, this is a providential interview, because right over there, across this booth, is Roy Danner. His father is the one who introduced me to short track racing when I was 7 years old. And I've got goosebumps now because his son, Briggs Danner, just won the USAC East Championship this year. And that's my own family, and that's where I started, in Allentown, Pennsylvania, at Dorney Park Speedway and Nazareth Speedway when I was 7 and 8 years old. So that's why I want to go back to short track racing in America.
I love it. I love it. And we had Briggs interview. Well, we did an interview with Briggs yesterday as well. He's a great, great young man, that's for sure. All right, so SRX 2022, last season. Kind of put a bow around that, and how did things go for you guys?
Yeah, we put a bow around it, and as soon as we put the bow around it, we decided how to change the present for next year, right? So what can we do to make it bigger, better, faster, stronger? That's what were our wins? What were our losses? What was net neutral? And so we really did our own SWOT analysis, and out of the overflow of that and some announcements, we really think we've got an all-new approach to some things. We're not going to run it exactly as we did before. You'll still have two heats and you'll have a main event, but we're gonna put a twist and a curve to it that I think you'll really like.
So we're a lot of this announcement's going to come in the next few weeks. So we're not going to pioneer or submarine that's for sure. I do want to go back though. One of the visuals that stands out to me is Ryan Newman standing on the hood of the car, getting these drivers. Jared Andretti, obviously, getting these drivers. What's that melting pot, if you will, of those world-class drivers? That's got to be fun to just kind of step back and watch that.
What's really exciting is when you get somebody that's been a Silver Crown champion, somebody that's been a Cup driver, somebody that's been an IndyCar driver, somebody that's driven F1, somebody that's driven IMSA, SCCA, World of Outlaws, and you put them all in the same car race. But here's the neater part, is when you're sitting there with them at the motor coach before that, and they're all telling stories about their own genre of racing, and it's like, they all have four tires, and they all have a steering wheel, they got a gas pedal and a brake, and then they find their common ground. And they're all competitive as all get out, Steve. Like, it doesn't matter. Elio Castroneves with all of his Indy 500s, Tony Stewart with all of his championships, the other guys still want to beat him. Ryan Newman, I tell you, that moment at Stafford, I was so happy for him. His daughters were there. So many people see that visual of Ryan walking out of Volusia County Hospital down there in Daytona, holding his hands of his two daughters. I watched him hold the hands of his two daughters and get on a race car. He won that race. It meant the world to Ryan Newman. And, this 2023 model of SRX that's going to come out of the bag, here's what's exciting about it, Steve. It's not going to be for 1 year. It's going to be multiple years. This announcement that's coming is exciting in that regard. We're not planning to just be here for another year and people go, when are they going to go away, or when are they going to do? We're here. We're here for a while. And so I can't wait for the announcement. You're going to like it. We're going to be at a short track somewhere near you, and I'm going to bet you actually show up for one or two.
Oh, man, I'm all pumped up about that, that's for sure. No doubt, very, very exciting for sure. Don, it is always a pleasure. What's the PRI show like for you? This has got to be a reunion and a lot of business probably to tend to up here as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. I actually was over at the booth of a partner that I negotiated a deal with for Earnhardt when we were starting our own engine department back in the 90s. And he said, either you're getting old or I'm getting old or we're both getting old. And I said, we're both getting old, but here's the neat thing. We're both here, we're still active, and I want to do a deal. And so we talked about it. And so I've got 5 of our employees are here. They're moving around, talking to our partners. We got 3 show cars on display here if you haven't seen them. They're at the Holley booth, they're at the Goodyear booth, and they're at the PFC Brakes booth. We believe in this thing, and we want to be a part of it for a long time.
A long time. That is good stuff. Don, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Steve, thanks for always giving back to the short tracks and to guys like me. Appreciate it.
Love it. Don Hawk from SRX joining us here in the RE booth at PRI.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Don.
Great job.